Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm Timothy alongside Sergio. Sergio, welcome.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hey Tim.
Yes, smash the like button. Also, be sure to subscribe. If you're new to the show, we are giving out tips for 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Eredivisie, and the Premier League. Now, we are doing this for every weekend matchups. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get started. Today we are starting with Serie A. First game on the schedule, Como hosting Atalanta. Como wins set at 4.35. Atalanta wins set at 1.9. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Como, they got a great win against Udinese. Great performance. Atalanta, they kind of came out flat out of the winter break. But they smashed Sturm Graz 5-0. So they look like the old Atalanta again. I think that will continue here. Sergio, what are you doing?
Yes, it was a good game for Atalanta, but also Como. I think they keep surprising. They won against Udinese, won against Roma. Lecce also win. So yeah, 3 wins in 6 games. So now playing at home, I don't think it will be that easy for Atalanta. Because they played during the week. Yeah, it was a home game. A comfortable win, but still, it won't be an easy one. But looking at the odds, 1.9, it's I would still go for Atalanta. Let's say that they got some confidence out of the game against Sturm Graz.
Yeah, and even if they don't win, I think they will score. So I'm looking at Atalanta over 1.5 goals set at 1.78. Like you said, it might be a difficult game. Como also played against AC Milan, gave them some trouble. AC Milan ended up winning 2-1. A draw against Lazio, also a good performance. Not really counting the win against Lecce, but nonetheless, it was good for them. And then, of course, they lost 2-0 to Inter. Not that game wasn't that close, but 2-0, not a huge score line. So I think if Atalanta were to win this game, they're gonna have to score more than once. So I'm taking Atalanta over 1.5 goals. And listen, Atalanta obviously a high scoring team in the Serie A, 46 goals scored, just behind Inter with 51. So they can score. We saw that in midweek, 5-0. We should see it again here, at least 2 goals. Next up, Napoli hosting Juventus. Napoli wins set at 2.38. Juventus wins set at 3.65. Line for total goals set at 2.5, but 2.5 is sitting at 2.6, and under 2.5 is sitting at 1.47. So they're kind of expecting this to go under. I understand why. Napoli has only allowed 14 goals this season, Juventus 17, but a lot of the goals Juventus has allowed came in within the last month because they started the season very hot defensively and kind of frailing of late. Nonetheless, they played in midweek while Napoli did not. Juventus went on the road against Club Brugge. And Sergio, you were at that game. Give us your thoughts.
Yes, I was at that game. Not a great game, honestly. I think that was most thanks to Juventus. They they just defended a lot. They didn't. I think they only had maybe 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, they had one shot on goal.
Yeah, but shots, but on goal just one. Yes, yes. So it was, and it was against Bruges. Okay, Bruges is one of the top 2 teams in Belgium. Yeah, but still, I expected a little bit more from Juventus, but yeah, it didn't happen. Kind of disappointing. Because it was very cold that day. So in the stadium, I expected to, you know, a warm game at least, but no, totally disappointing. So I think Juventus is gonna have a problem at Napoli today. Um, I'm the way I saw Juventus playing against Bruges. I'm I'm going for a Napoli win with closed eyes.
All right. I do think it will be a low scoring game, and I'm with you. I'm also on Napoli. And if we saw Juventus, the road games, not pretty. They've won like two road games in the last 10 against Monza and against Udinese, and like they barely escaped against Monza. So I'm with you here. I'm also on Napoli. They're at home, they're more rested, and they've looked like the better team of late. So I'm also on Napoli. I'm joining you, but like I said, I think it will be low scoring. You saw that you saw that live. Juventus, they like to defend, and their approach won't be different in this game. They will defend, and Napoli also relies a lot on their defense. So we should see a low scoring game, right?
Yeah, I think so also.
All right. Next up, Empoli hosting Bologna. Empoli wins set at 4. Bologna wins set at 2. Line for the total goal set at 2.5. Now, obviously, Bologna also the better team here. A good win for them in midweek, beating Dortmund. But Dortmund, no, they were in flux. Also fired their coach. We'll get to the Bundesliga in a second. Uh, but Bologna kind of on a good streak, 4 games unbeaten, while Empoli they are 6 games without a win and only one draw against Venezia. So, guess you have to go for Bologna here, right?
Yes, I would also go for Bologna. They played at home, so it wasn't was they didn't have the traveling. So I also think Bologna today would be, and yeah, they're playing at night, so uh, I think they're also rested now. They played Tuesday, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's enough days to recover. Bologna, I would go for Bologna also.
yeah, and also Bologna. I know it was a draw the first matchup against Empoli when Bologna played at home, but Bologna completely dominated that game. 68% ball possession, 14 shots, while Empoli just had 4 shots. So I know they're going on the road, so a little bit more difficult. But the way that they dominated the home game, they should get the win here, even though it may be a hard-fought game. All right. Next up, AC Milan hosting Parma. AC Milan wins set at 1.3. Parma wins set at 10. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, I'm just gonna take AC Milan for a win. Low value, so not going heavy on AC Milan, but I expect them to win this game. Since they hired a new coach, they only lost one game, was against Juventus on the road. And they didn't play bad in that game. They weren't the better team, but that was on the road. Now they go home against the Parma team that's struggling at the moment. Only one win in the last 7. That was against Monza. Obviously, Monza bottom of the league. So going on the road against AC Milan, AC Milan should get the points here, right?
Yeah, yeah, they should, but like you said, not a lot of value. So this game, honestly, I'm skipping. I was on AC Milan when they played against Juventus. Really thought that they would win that game, but yeah, they weren't that lucky. So I would, but this week, it's just easy win for them, I think.
Yeah, and also a solid bounce back win in midweek against Girona. Just a 1-0 score, so not great, but should give them some confidence. And also a home game. Now they also playing at home, so um, good spot for them. All right, next up, Udinese hosting Roma. Udinese wins set at 3.25. Roma wins set at 2.33. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now I'm on Roma here. I'm not sure they'll win, so probably taking Roma a double chance and parlaying that with over 1.5 goals for the total game. Um, Roma, since they hired a new coach, they haven't lost back-to-back games. Now they lost against AZ on Thursday. AZ very hot at the moment, so not bad. And also they had a lot more ball possession. Now they failed to really create chances and score. So that's kind of a problem, especially going up against the Udinese team, which we know they'll defend a lot. But I do think they should at least get a draw here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Roma. I think I'll just go for the double chance Udinese. over 2.5. Yeah, I think that's maybe a little too much, but yeah, I don't think Roma's gonna win this game. So I'll go for the Udinese double chance.
All right, over 2.5 looks, or let's say it feels like a lot, especially knowing that Udinese will have a very defensive approach. But Udinese still, they've allowed 32 goals already this season, so it's not like they're really relying on their defense. If they're gonna win Udinese, they should score more than once. I don't think they're shutting out Roma. So over 2.5, not a bad look. Um, Obviously, Udinese double chance also give you some value, but um, I'm not sure they'll win this game. All right. Next up, Lecce hosting Inter. Lecce wins set at 10. Inter wins set at 1.34. Line for goal set at 2.5. No, not a lot to say about this game. Obviously, Lecce, lowest scoring team in the league, 15 goals scored, while Inter is the highest scoring team in the league, 51. So, this is kind of an easy pick. And 1.34, also low value, but still high given the fact that these two teams are facing each other, right?
Yeah, and I think it's because of the away game, but also the over 2.5. Inter they stop at 2-0. There's
Yeah, they stop playing. Yeah.
yeah, one goal for the win and the second goal for the insurance, and after that it's just really just waiting to the game to end. So yeah, this is one of the games that you can also just skip or go for the over 2.5. At least thinking that yeah, Lecce scores a goal, but I don't think so. So
Yeah, neither do I. Now, I'm looking to, if you want to get some value, you can parlay AC Milan with Inter, two Milan teams. I think they'll both win this weekend. They're both in a good spot. So if you parlay those two teams, you get some good value at least. But other than that, not looking to do anything. All right, next up, Lazio hosting Fiorentina. Lazio wins set at 2. Fiorentina wins set at 3.95. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, it looks like Lazio has kind of found their groove back. 3 straight games undefeated. I know a draw with against Como in the first game, but man, they received a red card after being up 1-0. So they play with 11 men. I still think they go on and win that game. So Lazio in a much better spot. Fiorentina 7 games without a win. They're kind of in a rough spot here. What are you doing?
yeah, I think I'm just going for Lazio also. Good game against Real Sociedad. It was, yes, they played against.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they play against Sociedad, and Sociedad, a team that loves to defend, and Lazio put 3 goals past them. I wouldn't say with ease, but still 3 goals. That's something.
Yeah, yes, and it was also no, they played Wednesday, I think. So
Thursday.
oh, Thursday. Ah, yes, it's the Europa League, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and they played at home, so another home game, back-to-back home games. And it's against Fiorentina. Fiorentina, they haven't won in 6, so maybe they'll just try to defend a lot. So it could be a draw, but I'm still going for a Lazio win.
All right. We're both on Lazio. Next up, Venezia hosting Verona. Venezia wins set at 2.23. Verona wins set at, sorry guys, having some trouble here. Yes, Venezia wins set at 2.23. Verona wins set at 3.45. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, this is not a game I'm looking to play. It's a Monday game and two bad teams facing each other, so not doing anything here. What are you doing?
No, nothing. This is a 0-0 draw, maybe. I think you have a better chance for a correct score 0-0 than.
Yeah, these two teams are fighting for relegation already, so I think it could be a 1-1 draw. So I think both teams to score sitting at 1.77 is kind of a good look. because obviously neither team wants to lose this game. If one team scores, the other's gonna, do their best to at least draw the game. You could see a 1-1 score, maybe a 2-1, could go either way, but both teams to score, that's a look, but not really doing anything. All right. Next up, Genoa hosting Monza. Genoa wins set at 2.25. Monza wins set at 3.85. Line for total goals set at 2.5. And kind of the same here, not doing anything. Genoa sitting at number 12. Monza's dead last in the league. And for some reason, Monza has scored more goals than Genoa. Uh, just two, but still. 20 goals for Monza, 18 for Genoa. Genoa's allowed 30 goals, and Monza has allowed 31 goals. So, how Genoa has 10 points more than Monza, sitting at 12, I don't understand. Don't trust either team. Are you doing something?
Genoa was just a little bit luckier, I think. But like you said, just a difference of 10 points, but the gap seems enormous. So yeah, but no, same like Venezia against Verona. I'm gonna skip this one.
All right, that wraps up Serie A. Let's get to the Premier League. First game, Liverpool hosting Ipswich Town. Liverpool wins set at 1.11. Ipswich Town sit at 26. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, listen, not a lot to do in this game. Obviously, I understand the line. Ipswich got crushed by City, 6-0. Now they go on the road against Liverpool, so confidence should be low. I don't like the over 3.5. It's kind of a lot. But if I'm doing something, I would rather play Liverpool over 2.5 goals. That also gives you some value. So you're not relying on Ipswich to push this over 3.5 because if it's going over, you're going to rely on Liverpool. They're going to score at least 3 goals. So that's what I'm looking at. Liverpool winning 1.11, too low. What are you doing?
Yeah, too low. But Liverpool over 2.5. Yes. Uh, could, yes, yes. I think I would agree with that. Liverpool over 2.5, but then Ipswich really needs to, not defend too
Well,
much.
a 3-0 win isn't it's possible, right? Do not. They lost 6-0 against City. Before that, lost 2-0 against Brighton at home. They've allowed more than 40 goals this season. Liverpool at home. The crowd's gonna be behind them. They're coming out hot out of the gate. 50 goals already scored this season. So, scoring three against Ipswich should be possible.
And usually Liverpool scores more than 2 goals if Gakpo is also on the score sheet. So I think you just you can also go for a Gakpo score Liverpool winner.
Yeah, that's a nice prop bet for this game. Gakpo scores, Liverpool wins.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, next up, Southampton hosting Newcastle. Southampton wins set at 8. Newcastle wins set at 1.43. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Newcastle's manager, he's already complaining about the weather in this game. So that gives me some concern for Newcastle United. Obviously, I'm not on Southampton. Don't trust them. They're the worst team in the league. They can't score. So I was gonna be on Newcastle, but with the manager already complaining about the weather, kind of gives me some pause to cause where are the players' minds at. Because sometimes they just take the identity of the manager. So heading into this matchup, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think I would still go for Newcastle. They got embarrassed by Bournemouth uh, last weekend. So yeah, I think it's something they need to take care of. And I think it's a perfect game doing it against Southampton. I know he's complaining about the weather, but I just think that he's trying to relax everybody, especially his players. Um, I think uh, I think I'll just go for a Newcastle win. The embarrassment last weekend, it can't happen again. So, and not against Southampton.
I would agree there. All right, next up, Wolves hosting Arsenal. Wolves win set at 7.5. Arsenal win set at 1.48. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Obviously, Arsenal the better team. Wolves, they hired the manager, had a good spurt, but that's over. Lost back-to-back games, allowed 3 goals in back-to-back games. But I'm on the over 2.5 here. Now, Wolves, they got shut out by Nottingham Forest in the last home game, but that was the first shutout of this season. So if Arsenal were to win this game, it's going to go over 2.5 because Wolves is going to score in this game. And it gives you more value than just picking Arsenal for a win. Over 2.5, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think the over 2.5 seems reasonable. Arsenal win. I'm even not that sure because Arsenal is definitely one of those teams that difficult trusting, especially in away games. So I know it's against Wolves, yeah, but still, Arsenal needs to be sure that they score first. Um, Otherwise, it's going to be a difficult game for them. But the over 2.5, I'll go for the over 2.5 also.
All right. Glad we could agree there. Next up, Bournemouth. Hosting Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth wins set at 2.18. Nottingham Forest wins set at 3.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, these teams, they just seem like the two of the hottest teams in the league. The last time Bournemouth lost the game was 23rd of November last year. And the last time Nottingham Forest lost the game was the 4th of December. So, long winning streak for both teams. Both teams kind of, I know it's a 7 point difference in the table, but if you look at their goal difference,
Mm.
kind of about the same. Bournemouth scored a little bit more, but also allowed a little bit more. At least both teams can score. Over 30 goals scored for both teams. So I'm looking to play both teams to score here, sitting at 1.64. What are you doing?
Yeah, both teams to score and a Bournemouth win, maybe. I'm on Bournemouth this weekend. Yeah, I think Forest. Yeah, they need to lose a game somewhere, and away against Bournemouth, I think it's one of those games you don't expect them to lose, maybe, but I think this is gonna be the one,
But
especially.
Bournemouth's on a longer winning streak than Forest.
Yeah, but Forest is sitting a little bit higher. You don't expect them there, so usually. At the beginning of the season, no one would say that in January Forest will sit third on the league. So mm, I'm uh, I'm still going for Bournemouth, and that's only because they're playing at home also, and also last weekend was I think for me it was impressive what he did against Newcastle. Um, so I'm going for Bournemouth this weekend.
All right. I would also lean towards Bournemouth, but I'd play both teams to score. All right, next up, Brighton hosting Everton. Brighton wins set at 1.68. Everton wins set at 5.8. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Everton kind of surprised people winning against Tottenham in that fashion. But Tottenham, a team just rattled with injuries, also when they go on the road. Never a great look for them. So it was a home game for Everton. Now Everton goes on the road, where in 6 straight road games, they've scored only 1 goal. I know they've picked up some draws, relied on the defense, but only 1 goal scored. So obviously they're not winning this game. I'm on Brighton here. What are you doing?
Yeah, also on Brighton and Everton. I think for Tottenham, it's not an excuse, for the players. The way the crisis Everton is at the moment, they're at 16. They're not one of the best teams, of course, in the league, and to lose like that, it's painful. I think they were 3-0 down first half. Was that game, right?
Yeah, they ended up losing 3-2. They
Yeah.
were 3-0 down in the first half.
Yeah,
So,
so yeah, it's yeah, so it's you can't have any excuse for that, but okay. I would like you said, Everton, they were on a high, so they're losing this weekend for sure. And
all
the over 2.5, I would really look at the over 2.5. instead of just a
Seems
bright line.
interesting, but Everton's gonna defend, 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 defend. So over 2.5, I'd rather just play Brighton for a win. Maybe they sneak out a 1-0 win, 2-0 win, but not saying the over 2.5 is impossible. All right. Next up, City hosting Chelsea. Manchester City wins set at 2.17. Chelsea wins set at 3.35. Line for the total goal set at 3.5. Now, I don't know what's going on with City. Every time it seems like they kind of find their way again, they just get embarrassed, and they got embarrassed by Paris, 4-2. And things you rarely see in City games is getting dominated in possession, right? So Paris had like 63% ball possession, only 37% for City. They were on the road, I get it, but still, that's unlikely for a City or a Guardiola team. Expected goals for PSG close to three. So City is just absolutely in flux. They've allowed so many goals in the last couple of games. They shut out Ipswich and Salford City. Okay, also Leicester City, whatever. Those teams can score. In games that were somewhat competitive, they've allowed goals, mostly two. They've allowed two against Manchester United, two against Aston Villa, two goals against Brentford, now four against PSG. So Chelsea can and should take advantage here. I'm on Chelsea. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not really on Chelsea, but concerns about City, yes, I'm at that also. Pep Guardiola, when he had 80% ball possession and he still loses, people said, oh yeah, at least he has 80% ball possession. But now he has 37 and also losing. So yeah, that's it's really really terrible if even his ball possession is starting to fade. So um, I but this game against Chelsea, these games are usually loaded. The players are extra motivated. So I still think City will do better than they did against PSG. Now they're playing at home, and of course, if they win this game, they climb to the fourth place. So it's gonna be a hard-fought game, but I'm still on City side in this one.
And I get it. 11 straight games, Chelsea has not beaten City, so that's a slight concern. But the thing I'm looking at is, out of those 11 games, only two games we saw over 2.5 goals, right? No, sorry, three games. We of course had a 4-4 crazy game, that which is absolutely crazy. So
Yeah.
eight out of those 11 games we saw under 2.5 goals. So the line sitting at 3.5, I get it because City's defense just bad. But I'm not expecting a shootout here, so the under 3.5 goals also a good look. What do you think about that?
Yeah. On the 3.5, like I said, it will be a hard-fought game, but with not a lot of goals. But I I still think City will end up on top.
All right. Next up, Tottenham hosting Leicester City. Tottenham wins set at 1.48. Leicester City wins set at 6.25. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, we already touched on it. Tottenham kind of in a bad spot. I know they bounced back against Hoffenheim in midweek, so I guess that was a good result. So I'm not high on Tottenham, neither are you. But listen, man, you can't be lower on Leicester City. They're just absolutely awful. Players already complaining about the coach. So what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Tottenham. Yeah, I didn't expect them to win against Hoffenheim, but yeah, it happened. So yeah, Leicester. Yeah, this is one of the teams that Tottenham. I think if they lose this one or maybe even draw, they'll send the coach packing. So I'm also on Tottenham here. They
Yeah,
have.
you just have to be on Tottenham, although my confidence isn't that high. Like I said, Leicester City, the players are really questioning the coach, questioning his attitude. So obviously they're not backing the coach. They won't be fighting here for the coach. I think they would be happy if they send him packing. And the loss here may very well do that. So Give me Tottenham, although not very high on Tottenham. Next up, Crystal Palace hosting Brentford. Crystal Palace win set at 2.14. Brentford win set at 3.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now Palace, kind of on a good streak here. 6 straight games without a loss, 3 straight wins, and 3 straight games where they haven't allowed a goal. So kind of a good result, but still, this game I'm going for both teams to score, sitting at 1.60. Brentford has already scored 40 goals this season, and now they've allowed 39, so they can score, but they can defend. So we should see goals here. Give me both teams to score. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going for Crystal Palace. Yeah, no, surprising. I think that Crystal Palace at the moment they're maybe not a lot, but better than Brentford. So I think that they deserve to at least be above Brentford. So I'm going for the Crystal Palace win.
Yeah, and Brentford also a team that really struggles on the road, so I wouldn't disagree with just taking Palace here for a win at home, in good form. All right, next up, Villa hosting West Ham. Villa win set at 1.57. West Ham win set at 6. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Villa, they've really been up and down over the last 10 games. I still think they're better than West Ham. They're playing at home, also in a tough place to play. But I'm not on Villa this weekend. I'm not on West Ham either, so not really doing anything in this game. Only thing I'm looking at is the over 2.5, but that's just a look. Kind of a concern that Villa had to travel in midweek, played against Monaco. Now they come back home hosting West Ham. These teams already played a couple weeks earlier. Villa won 2-1, so also kind of a tough game. So not on Villa, but also not on West Ham. What are you doing?
Yeah, I understand. And playing away and also losing, it's even more tiring. So I would still go for the maybe over 2.5 or a draw. I think it's more likely to draw than a win for one of these two.
All right. Next up, Fulham hosting United. Fulham win set at 2.23. Man United win set at 3.5. Line for goal set at 2.5. Man United are dogs in this game, man, against Fulham. Now I know Fulham's good. They're solid, also at home, but still, big dogs. United. What are
Hmm.
you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's this one is actually it should be easy, but it's a difficult one. United is now they're all 1-3 out of 6. Against Rangers, it was a little bit sketchy, but I would still go for Fulham. The game against Brighton, United played against Brighton, that that showed that they're not where they want to be in the Premier League, and Fulham is playing at home. So yeah, I would still go with Fulham, and I think Fulham played a good game against West Ham also. So and that was an away game. You know, 2 away games, I think, against Leicester. They won that one also. Yeah, but Leicester can be that difficult. But now they're playing at home against United. Mm. They don't like United in London, so I think yeah, I'm just going for Fulham. Just a gut feeling. I'm just going for Fulham.
I'm not sure they like United anywhere outside of Manchester. You talk about the win against Rangers being sketchy. No, listen, man, all United wins since the new coach have been sketchy. The win against Rangers, obviously sketchy. Win against Southampton, worst team in the league, doesn't get more sketchier than that.
Mm.
Then they win on penalties against Arsenal in the FA Cup after they were on a 5 game winless run. A 2-1 win against City when City just completely collapsed. Also very sketchy. And okay, they beat Victoria Pilsen 2-1. I guess that's a good result, but this man it's Victoria Pearson, so not really great wins since the new coach. Um, I also have to be on Fulham here. No way you can go any other way.
No.
All right, that wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to La Liga. First game, Mallorca hosting Betis. Mallorca win set at 2.23. Betis win set at 3.85. Line for total goals set at 1.5. Um, when it's 1.5, listen, man, I'm just gonna take the over 1.5. We should see two goals in this game. I get it. Mallorca, a team that doesn't really light up the scoreboard, only 19 goals scored, and Betis kind of the same, only 22. So, if you average it out, it's about one goal a game for both teams. But that pushes it over 1.5 goals. Mallorca, three straight games, three straight losses without a goal scored. Now they return home, or three straight road games. Now they return home, so they should get a goal here. What are you doing?
I think they should get a win. Betis is also on a three-game losing streak, so I would, I would, for that reason alone, I would go for Mallorca because Betis now playing away. Lost against Alaves, man, it was painful. Even I felt it. I was on Betis, and then losing like that. I don't know what's wrong with Betis at the moment, but I don't think they're going away and winning in Mallorca. So
Yeah, and they even lost on the road against Valladolid, and it actually doesn't get any worse than that.
yeah, yeah, and the beating Barcelona gave them. So yeah, I would just go for a Mallorca win.
All right. I also have a lean towards Mallorca. Next up, Atletico Madrid hosting Villarreal. Atletico Madrid wins set at 1.7. Villarreal wins set at 5.1. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, we were kind of skeptical last week about picking Atletico Madrid against Leganes. Like, man, they're just so hot, won so many games in a row. They're due for a letdown. We were like, okay, that won't happen against Leganes, right? Well,
Yes.
guess what? It happened. All right, but it's a good thing. Now we got that out of the way. They should build a new winning streak, especially being at home against a team like Villarreal. That really has trouble defending 31 goals allowed. But Villarreal can score. They scored 38, which is more than Atletico Madrid sitting at 34. So I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals here. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I would uh, I would do that also. But to be honest, last weekend was a terrible weekend for big teams actually. And I think Atletico Madrid sat on top, losing against Leganes. But this weekend, I think that they just have to go for a win. So. They won against Leverkusen, so that was a start. And now against Villarreal, I think will be the second game that they win after the disappointment. So
Yeah. All right, next up, Sevilla hosting Espanyol. Sevilla wins set at 1.73. Espanyol wins set at 5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, obviously, Sevilla, disappointing season uh, by their standards. But at home against Espanyol, Espanyol has picked up 1 point on the road this season. Every other game just straight up L's. Um, they won 4-0 against San Tirso, but this man, it's just Copa del Rey. Not sure really count that. If you dismiss that one, eight straight road games without a win, and three straight where they haven't even scored. Also failed to score against Barbastro in the Copa del Rey. So not sure they're scoring here. Give me Sofia for a win. What are you doing?
but they won against Valladolid last weekend.
Yeah, at home.
Yes, yes, but yeah, you're right. Now against Sevilla, um, I think it's a totally different game. Sevilla, not impressive at all this season. So I think this game against Espanyol that is one they should win. So I would still go for a Sevilla win.
Yes. All
Not too
right.
much value, 1.75. Yeah, you still get something, but
I think it's good value.
yeah.
All right. Next up, Valladolid hosting Real Madrid. Valladolid win set at 12.5. Real Madrid win set at 1.24. Line for total goal set at 3.5. I'm attacking this game the same way I'm attacking Liverpool Ipswich. I'm taking Real Madrid over 2.5 goals, sitting at 1.82. That's just great value. I know Real Madrid, they've had their struggles, but man, when they roll, they roll. They've scored at least 4 goals in 3 straight games. I get no against Celta, kind of got pushed to extra time. I get it. But dismiss that one. Still 4-1 against Las Palmas, 5-1 against Salzburg, against a team like Valladolid that has already allowed 39 goals this season. Real Madrid should score 3 times easily. What are you doing?
Yeah, sitting in first and playing against dead last. It's over 2.5 Madrid. Uh, I agree with you on that one. I think I also go for that.
And listen, Real Madrid, they've been disappointing in games this season. But the fact that they're sitting first, also still live in the Champions League, and you're still hearing rumblings about Ancelotti and being fired, just it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and the man, I think maybe this season, they can just let it slide. Yeah, he brought the team so much great games the past seasons, and wins and Champions League. So I know it's Madrid, and you need to win all the time. And if you start losing 2 or 3 games, people are already starting to complain. But I don't think it would be right to send send him packing.
No, I will agree there. I think he's still one of the best coaches.
The best for me.
All right, I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. All right, next up, Rayo hosting Girona. Rayo win set at 2.7. Girona win set at 2.95. Line for the goal set at 2.5. Now the odds already tell you how close this game should be. Rayo's been a little bit better throughout the season, and they're playing at home, so slightly favored, but only slightly. And I get it. Hard to pick a winner here. I would lean towards Rayo because Girona not great on the road. Also played on the road in midweek against AC Milan. Had to travel. Now you travel to Rayo, so lean towards Rayo. But that's about it. What are you doing?
Yeah. Looking where Girona is sitting in the league, I was surprised that they're playing against Milan. I forget that they play in Europe still. So yes, that's the vibe that I get of Girona. But Rayo Vallecano away. No, I still I'm gonna skip this game. I think it's closer than a draw than a win. So uh, I'm gonna skip this one.
All right. Next up, Real Sociedad hosting Getafe. Sociedad wins set at 1.71. Getafe wins set at 6.5. Line for total goal set at 1.5. And listen, man, the over 1.5 is sitting at 1.67. And I get it. I get the 1.5. Sociedad 17 goals scored, 14 allowed. Getafe 14 scored, 17 allowed. So this is like the Spider-Man meme when these two teams are looking at each other. We shouldn't see a lot of goals, but I think we should see more than one. So I'm on the over 1.5 goals. What are you doing?
Over 1.5. Yeah, that's yeah, that's it should happen also. But this is also one of the games I don't like so much this weekend. So over 1.5, I think I'll agree.
Yeah, and also lean obviously towards Sociedad. And like I said, I get the 1.5 if you could, because if you look at Sociedad, their home games, like the last one they won 3-1 against Rayo, but before that, 6 straight games where they haven't allowed a goal. 3 out of those games where it was just 1 goal or less for both teams combined. So I get the 1.5. All right, next up, Bilbao hosting Leganes. Bilbao wins set at 1.35. Leganes wins set at 10.5. Line for Zogo set at 2.5. Now, Bilbao, obviously the better team. Leganes beating Athletic Madrid coming off a high, so let down spot here. But I'm not going heavy on Bilbao. Value is low at 1.35, and they're coming off a midweek loss against Besiktas 4-1. So I'm staying off Bilbao here. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was disappointing. I really thought Bilbao could win against Besiktas. They should have. But Leganes, on the other hand, just one loss in six, so they- 4 wins. So it's not one of the easiest teams to play against at the moment, and especially Bilbao. They seem to have a little bit trouble finding their groove. So not going too heavy on them, but I think they'll still win.
Yeah, and Leganes, the winning streak is kind of bit fluky because a win against Almeria, okay, I guess. A win against Cartagena, okay, I guess. A draw against Espanyol, but for some reason they win against Barcelona and they won against Atletico Madrid. So those,
Giant killers.
yeah, those were two great results, but between those, uh, just I don't know. So. But like I said, I'm staying off Bilbao for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Barcelona hosting Valencia. Barcelona wins set at 1.19. Valencia wins set at 15. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, great comeback win for Barcelona against Benfica. Got some help from the refs, right? But
Yeah.
listen, man, Valencia winning sitting at 15 is absolutely crazy. I know they're just bad at the moment, one of the worst teams in the league, but still, 15 is just absolutely crazy. Now, one thing that concerns me is just you can see Barcelona just go off, right? Because when they roll, they roll.
Yes.
5-1 against Betis, 5-2 against Real Madrid. But they drop too many duds once, once in a while. And this could be one. So I'm sprinkling something on Valencia. Don't think they will win. But if this is just one of those games where Barcelona, they lose against Leganes, they lose against Osasuna, just could be one of those games. 15, great value. I'm going with Valencia here. And 1.19 for Barcelona is just too low. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, you can try, but yeah, what I want to say is the game against Benfica was very entertaining, to say the least. So I really thought that that Barcelona would get a beating that night, but still they turned things around with help, like you said. But I don't know, but I'm looking at the over 3.5 here. But I have a feeling there's also going to be a high scoring game. So Valencia won't win, but it will be a high scoring game, say the least. I'm not putting nothing on Barcelona. Value is a little bit too low, and double chance Valencia, maybe, but to be sure, I'm just going for the over 3.5.
Yeah, like that. Over 3.5 is not a bad look because when Barcelona roll, they roll. It could get loose. If they score early, it just could get really ugly for Valencia. So like I said, I'm not really expecting Valencia to win this game. But no one was expecting Leganes to win against Atletico Madrid, right? So
No, no.
um, just because of the odds, 15 got into something. All right. Next up, Alaves hosting Celta. Alaves wins set at 2.8. Celta wins set at 3. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, another game with it's where it's just almost a pick 'em, and it's on Monday. So I'm not doing anything here. What are you doing?
No, I'm on the same train. So
All right.
yeah,
Let's just wrap up La Liga quick. Let's get to the Bundesliga. First game, Leipzig hosting Leverkusen. Leipzig wins set at 3.9. Leverkusen wins set at 1.89. Line for goal set at 3.5. Now, Leipzig, they already beat Leverkusen earlier this season, match day two, but they kind of got outplayed. Like, Expected goals for Leverkusen close to 3, 2.93, while Leipzig had 1.39. 27 shots for Leverkusen, only 10 for Leipzig. So Leverkusen actually dominated that game. The scoreline would indicate that a 3-2 loss. I think it will be different this time around. I know they lost against Atletico Madrid in midweek, but before that they were just on a roll, very long winning streak. I think they start a new one here. What are you doing?
Yes, against Atletico Madrid, of course, that's a game you sure can expect them to lose. But away against Leipzig, you know it's gonna be an intense game, you know, because it's yeah, number two against number five in the Bundesliga, and I don't think that the difference is that big as the table shows. So away losing, and now another away game, you know, against actually your biggest your one of your biggest opponent in the league. Um, I'm uh, I'm hesitating. So a draw maybe, but Leverkusen is a small chance for them. But I'm more on a draw here.
All right. Next up, Augsburg hosting Heidenheim. Augsburg wins set at 1.93. Heidenheim wins set at 4.1. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Back-to-back wins for Augsburg. 2-0 against Union, 2-0 against Werder Bremen. Heidenheim just lost to St. Pauli, 2-0, got shut out. Don't really have trust in either of these teams, but if I'm looking to do something, I'm playing both teams to score, saying at 1.73. Both teams average over a goal a game. Augsburg, they allow almost 2 goals a game, so back-to-back clean sheets. I can't see that happening for a third straight time. So I expect Heidenheim to go to get on the score sheet, and Augsburg being at home should also score a goal. Both teams to score is my play here. What are you doing?
Mm. Augsburg win. Yeah, I'm they're playing at home. Like you said, back to back. They won 2 games. So why not a third? Uh, they're playing at home now, you know, away against Berlin, Werder, and actually, you know, just 2 away games, and now they're playing at home. So why shouldn't it? Uh, I'm just going for the Augsburg win.
I get why it would be an Augsburg. Obviously, I'm not on Heidenheim, but both teams to score. I'm sticking with that one. All right, next up, Freiburg hosting Bayern Munich. Freiburg wins set at 10. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.27. Line for the goal set at 3.5. Now, when the odds came out, Feyenoord hosting Bayern Munich, I took a quick look at Bayern Munich and I was like, well, value too low. Bayern Munich should roll here. So kind of skipping this game.
Yeah.
Guess what? Feyenoord rolled 3-0, beating Bayern Munich. What are you doing?
Yes, disappointing at least, or disappointing, or should I say embarrassing? Yes, I think it was 3-0. But now against Freiburg, I think they should just turn things around. You know, Bayern is still sitting on top in the Bundesliga. So in the Bundesliga, they seem flawless. So yeah, just a Bayern win.
Yeah, and I'm gonna attack this game like I did Liverpool and the Real Madrid game. I'm gonna take Bayern Munich over 2.5 goals. Bayern, obviously, they've lost some games this season, but they've bounced back after every loss. First loss against Aston Villa, they scored 3 goals against Frankfurt. Second loss against Barcelona, they scored 5 goals against Bochum. Third loss against Leverkusen, they scored 4 against Heidenheim. They lost 2-1 against Mainz. They scored 5 against Leipzig. So now 3 nothing loss against Bayern Munich. You're playing a team like Freiburg. That's not great. They should score 3 goals. Give me Bayern over 2.5 goals.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Mainz hosting Stuttgart. Mainz wins set at 2.9. Stuttgart wins set at 2.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now Stuttgart on a roll, 4 straight wins. Mainz back-to-back losses. I still think Mainz, it was kind of a rough spot for them. Both road games. Loss against Leverkusen, kind of close. The loss against Union was bad, but now going home is a good spot for them. They will put up a fight here, but Stuttgart, obviously a high-scoring team, now back-to-back games with at least 3 goals scored and already 36 goals scored on the season. Those that averages about 2 goals a game. So I'm on the over 2.5 goals here. What are you doing?
Yeah, and even a Stuttgart win, I would still go for Stuttgart, but over 2.5, it's a safer option, and I think that's more likely to happen also.
All right. Next up, Dortmund hosting Werder Bremen. Dortmund wins set at 1.57. Werder Bremen wins set at 5.4. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, Dortmund sent their coach packing. 4 straight losses, terrible losses against Kiel. Now, two good teams lost against Frankfurt and Leverkusen, but still barely put up a fight in some of those games. So I understand why they send the coach packing. Now, new coach bump. What are you doing here?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go for a new coach bump. I think that almost happens almost every time. So I will go for a new coach bump and just expect them to win.
All right. Next up, Gladbach hosting Bochum. Gladbach wins set at 1.72. Bochum wins set at 4.7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Bochum look to be somewhat in form, but still, Gladbach 3 straight losses against 3 good to call it great teams. Well, Bayern Munich top of the league, Leverkusen second, and Wolfsburg also in a very solid, especially at home. We all know Gladbach really struggles on the road, but now at home, where they've lost against Bayern the last home game, still, like I said, Bayern on top of the league. Bochum on the road, not great. They've only picked up 1 point, a draw against Union, so Gladbach should win this game, right?
Yeah, I think they won't go for 4 straight losses. So yeah, and against Bochum at home, I think it's a chance for them to to end that losing streak. So or so I would just go for a Gladbach win.
All right. Next up, Hoffenheim hosting Frankfurt. Hoffenheim wins set at 3.15. Frankfurt wins set at 2.25. Line for total goals set at 2.5. No, Hoffenheim lost against Tottenham at home. Both teams played at home in midweek. Frankfurt 4 straight wins, some good results. Hoffenheim's really been up and down. They won against Skill last weekend, but listen, man, I don't know where this team is really at. If there's one I trust, it's Frankfurt. But I do think we should see the over 2.5 goals here. I'm rolling with the over 2.5. Frankfurt, obviously a high scoring team, 42 goals scored. Hoffenheim, they've allowed 35. But Hoffenheim playing at home can put up a fight here and score a goal. We saw them score two against Tottenham. Tottenham, obviously, not great at defending, but still, Hoffenheim could get a goal here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on Frankfurt this weekend. Yeah, I'm just I just think it's gonna be a Frankfurt win. Frankfurt is still the better team. I know they won 4 in a row, so it's a little bit, and difficult to say another away game against Hoffenheim. But Hoffenheim sitting at 15. No, this is a chance for Frankfurt to to at least stay in the top three a little bit longer. So I don't think they'll let that on slide. I'm on a Frankfurt win this weekend.
All right. I also think Frankfurt will win this game. Next up, St. Pauli hosting Union. St. Pauli wins set at 2.6. Union wins set at 3.05. Line for the goal set at 2.5. I don't like any one in this game. I'm kind of skipping this game. Union 16 goals scored, 24 allowed. St. Pauli 14 scored, 21 allowed. So teams that have trouble scoring but like to defend, they don't allow a lot of goals. So low scoring game here. I'm not doing anything. What are you doing?
Yeah, very low scoring game. Yeah, I'm also on a skip.
All right, that wraps up the Bundesliga. Let's get to the Eredivisie. First game, PSV hosting Breda. PSV wins set at 1.09. Breda wins set at 26. Line for total goal set at 3.5. I
Mhm.
get the 26 for Breda. Kind of crazy because Breda, they've had some good results this season. They're also within the top 10, so getting 20, cashing 26 for a team that's in the top 10 is just absolutely crazy. But PSV at home after a loss against PEC should bounce back here. So PSV should rout here. Now I would play the total for PSV over, PSV's total goals over, but it's sitting at 3.5. So I think they'll score 3 goals. Not sure they'll score four. So I'm kind of skipping this game. What are you doing?
Breda keep surprising, win against Twente last weekend. Yeah, but PSV at home, that's just gonna be something else. And PSV, of course, the embarrassment of last weekend against Zwolle, that can't happen again at home. So it's just gonna be a PSV win and not much value. So mm, I'm just gonna let this one slide.
Yeah, we're on the same train. Next up, Groningen hosting Heerenveen. Groningen wins set at 138. Heerenveen wins set at 3.3. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I'm not sure why Groningen is favored in this game. I don't think they should be favored in any game unless they're playing maybe the three teams below them. Only 15 goals scored so far this season. It's not like Heerenveen's lighting up the scoreboard with 21 goals scored. And obviously, Heerenveen really struggles on the road. The only thing that concerns me is this is a derby, so you would lean towards the home team. But Groningen is just so bad, I can't back them with any confidence. What do you do?
Yeah, but still, I'm on Groningen. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm on Groningen. I keep saying that this is the weekend they'll win. This is the weekend they'll win, and it keeps not happening. And uh, now against Heerenveen, it's a derby, like you said, and I still think Groningen. They have the coach, one of the better coaches in the Eredivisie, and they still have really good players, but it just doesn't seem to come together still. It did in the beginning of the season, but after that, it just went flying. So, but this weekend I'm on Groningen again because Heerenveen away, yeah, it's still a problem. So, mm,
Yeah,
just
Heerenveen away obviously a problem, and the reason I would go for Groningen, like I said, I don't really have a dog in this fight, but I would go for Groningen is, like I said, derby, home team. That's most of the time that's the way to go, but yeah, can't back them with any confidence. All right, next up, Fortuna hosting PEC. Fortuna wins 2.12. PEC wins set at 3.6. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, PEC coming off a high, beating PSV, while Fortuna's coming off a low, getting smashed by NEC. I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals here, sitting at 1.9. Fortuna at home, I think they will bounce back here. They've been solid at home, haven't lost back-to-back home games, and they lost their last home game against Go Ahead Eagles. So I expect to bounce back, but I also expect Peck to put up a fight. So 2.5 goals over. What are you doing?
yeah, no, no, you just have to go for Fortuna here. Zwolle beating PSV, that's a little bit too high even. So I and Fortuna, back to back embarrassments. Go ahead Eagles, losing at home, and then of course NEC. 7 goals conceded in 2 games, and that's not Fortuna like, and I think Danny Buys is gonna really motivate his players against Zwolle. So they're playing at home, so I'm just going for the Fortuna win.
All right. Next up, RKC hosting Willem 2. RKC wins set at 2.7. Willem 2 wins set at 2.65. So why not just call this game a pick'em? Line for the goal set at 2.5. Now, just two, like Willem 2 is not horrible. They're sitting at 12. But I don't really enjoy watching them play. And RKC obviously dead last in the league, so not really picking a winner here. What are you doing?
Yeah, maybe a lean towards Willem too. That's only because I think that they have the better coach and slightly better players. But over 2.5, that's also possible. But I'm just on a lean for Willem too.
All right, I'm skipping that game. A lot more interesting games. All right, next up, AZ hosting Sparta. AZ wins set at 1.6. Sparta wins set at 6.5. Lions Zorgo set at 2.5. Um, kind of one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Just AZ winning 1.6. Not great value, but it's
Mhm.
just really good value given the state Sparta is in. Listen, man, these guys are just absolutely awful. They can't seem to score. When they score, it's just one goal, and that's about it. Well, AZ, one of the best teams at the moment. Absolutely terrific form. So give me AZ for the win. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. As a twin. And the over 2.5, I would go for that also, but get a little bit more value for that. But AZ win at 1.6, yeah, that's a lot you can do something with.
All right. Now that wraps up the Eredivisie. Not all teams are in action this weekend at the Eredivisie. So that was the last game. That wraps up all picks and leans. We're gonna give a quick recap for our best bets. I like Lazio, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal over 2.5 goals. Brighton win. Bournemouth, Forest, both teams to score. Dortmund to win, Gladbach to win, AZ to win, and Sevilla to win. What do you have, Sergio?
Yes, this weekend I'm on Atalanta, Napoli, Bournemouth, City for a win also, Bayer Leverkusen. I'm on Fortuna, and of course Crystal Palace.
All right. That wraps up all picks and leans. Like we said, guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, good weekend, everybody.